evening, and watching Truth Be Told. I'm Faye D'Souza. Thank you for joining me. This is the show where we talk about the impact that COVID-19 is having on various aspects of our lives. And we bring in voices that are able to clear things up or to answer questions for us on the personal impact that the virus is having. Today, we're going to talk about what's happening with school examinations. As you know, there is a big question that lies before the HRD ministry on whether or not to completely cancel whatever is left of the board exams for the 10th and the 12th standard and to give students their results based on previous examinations they may have answered through the year. Or option two is to continue to hold these examinations at some point when the lockdown is over. Now, both of these options have tremendous implications. They have implications on admission cycles. They have implications on the following year. They also have implications on the final result for students who may or may not be happy with their performance in the past year. Now, the Delhi government, Manish Sisodia specifically, have come out today to suggest that the government, the central government, cancel examinations and use option number one. But there are a large number of people across the country who would still prefer option number two. What is this having? What sort of impact is this having on students themselves and on families? To help us understand that a little better, we have Dr. Geetanjali Kumar, who joins us right now. She's a counseling psychologist who works with families and a parenting coach. Dr. Kumar, thank you for joining us. Good evening. Has this situation created stress for students and for families right now?
Definitely, there is a huge amount of stress in the parents and as well as the students, rather the entire families. The homes are stressful. The COVID-19 in itself is a stressful word, and we are all living into that stress. But along with the stress magnifies in the families who have children who were taking due for their board exams. So there is stress, there is anxiety, there is sadness looming into their home. There are mild symptoms of depression. There are crying bouts, lack of appetite, insomnia, you name it, and it is there with them in their homes.
Well, Dr. Kumar, we know that for students between classes 1 to 8, they've just been moved to the next class. They've been promoted one class, and so a lot of them have started their academic years either online or through other means. But for the 10th and the 12th standard, which sends you into a completely different institute of study, you have admissions that need to take place, you have entrance exams that need to be answered. There is a sense of limbo. Do you believe at this point a decision, either way, this way or that way, would be most beneficial?
Definitely, a decision will be a welcoming stand, but what kind of decision? That is what will have lots of implication, and that will decide that how are the children benefiting out of it. But the decision is not an easy decision. Like there are some odd rumors that the evaluations of the answer scripts must start. There is a rumor that there should be exams. Yes, CBSE has reassured that they will give children a well amount of notice for examinations, because I'm on the CBSE helpline. So I received a call the other day which says, how many days notice will I get? I may not be unprepared for the exam. How will I do well? So these are very valid questions from a young child's mind. But as adults, we need to allay those anxieties also. And at times, I believe that if the child in class 10th is promoted for for these reasons, that we are unable to take the board exam, and all the children are promoted to class 11, and there is no percentage, and there is some kind of a generalized moderated grade, will it actually impact our future? We've seen that everything has come to a standstill. We are running, it's a rat race. We are running for numbers. We are talking about admissions into various courses. All across the globe, the admissions have come to a standstill. All across the globe, studies are happening online, or there are no studies. The priority list of our concerns have definitely halted. It is taking a 360-degree change. So the limbo is definitely annoying and depressing. We need a momentum in our lives, Geener. This inertia of no decision making is killing. But somewhere we have to come to terms with it, that the new motion may be a very different motion. And how will we fall in line to that new motion will be a tough call. which as adults, in responsible adults in young people's life, we'll have to facilitate that for them.
Well, what is your advice to the decision makers at this point, who have, like you said, several things to take into consideration, but also keeping in mind the stress and the psychological impact this has for children?
If I talk about why the delay, why is there a delay in the decision making? What are the reasons? That's what you're asking me now.
No, I want to know what your advice is for the decision makers.
What advice?
Yes.
Okay. See, the decision makers definitely have all the stakeholders in mind. They're thinking about children all across the country. It's not the children who are studying in metro. It's children right from Punjab to Kanyakumari. We're covering the entire length and breadth of our country. So the diversity, the aspirations, the dreams, the ambitions of taking, we have to take it into account as decision makers. They're responsible for everybody. They're accountable for by all of us. Who are all the entire nation is looking up to them. Children are from all demographics is looking up to them. So it's a tough call, satisfying everybody. But I'm sure whatever the decision would be, we will have certain factions of the society who will not be in approval with whatever decision it comes. With certain section of people, I have calls from children who say, I've been a 90%er all my life. I would want to compete. I would want to write the exam and top my school. Why should I not be given a chance to top? Why should there be everybody along with me? It is fine for that person to think like this. But these are extraordinary circumstances. If I've been a 90%er and this time I have 5 more as a 90%er with me, will it lessen my 90%? Somewhere our children will have to learn to accommodate also, because whatever decision the government takes, whatever side it turns, the decision is going to be welcomed and the decision is not going to be welcomed by the sections of the society. I am looking at it like this. Taking the exam is not easy enough. We're talking about safety. We are talking about safety of children, the invigilation staff, the teachers. There is so much. So we can't be people just raising fingers, na?
So would you then also believe at this point is, and you did say, of course, you're with the CBSE Helpline. One of the things that are of deep concern to a lot of students I know is entrance examinations or common entrance examinations that they have to take. Is it likely that all those entrance examinations will also be subsequently moved forward with enough notice?
Yeah, definitely. We've been hearing such. The CLAT exam has been postponed, the JEE exam, the NEET exam, no fresh dates have been announced. So it is for sure that all these exams are going to be postponed. They're already postponed. The last date for applying for these exams have been extended. And these are merit-based examinations. Definitely, we have a little proportion of weighting given to the class 12 examination result. So maybe the individual stakeholders involved for these examinations would reconstruct their admission policy, keeping these extraordinary circumstances in mind. If we are not able to complete with our board examination round, then the weightage given to the 12th result, they can review their decision about their admission policies in that account also. Because we were not prepared for this. We never knew that COVID is coming and going to hit us like this. So how could we be better prepared?
And
we have to see, think, review. We will have to foresee a decision. We'll have to imagine the decision being implemented, and then we'll have to see the impact of the decision, and then finally review and announce the decision.
So on the CBSE helpline as of now, what information have you been given from the authorities on what you should be telling children or parents who call you?
The official statement by the controller of the examination is this, that whenever post-lockdown, whenever the situation is comfortable, the children will get 10 days notice for CBSE to conduct the examination. That is, so children will have 10 days to prepare for their remaining 1 exam or 2 exam as per the date sheet will be planned. And see, any board, whether it is a state board or a CBSE board or an ICSE board, all these boards are very child friendly. Whether it is NIOS, the National Institute for Open Schooling, they are always going to keep children's interests in mind. This is something we need to, it is high time that we need to trust the system. We need to trust the people who are employed with the duty to take charge for us, to take decisions for us, for our welfare. Somewhere we will have to plant our trust in them. Yes, there have been certain decisions where we've not been able to see our welfare, where we feel that our well-being has been threatened. But somewhere maybe, yes, there could be some wrong decisions also. I don't deny that. But the lack of stress will create a lot of fear in people. My humble request is this.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. That my very humble request and submission to the audience is this: that please let's not distrust the system. Let's pluck faith in the system, and let's be loyal to the system, and let's do our little best. The major thing which the children keep telling me, hum pad nahi pa rahe, we are not able to study in this hour of uncertainty. See, this is the time for us to learn to self-regulate ourselves, learn to self-discipline ourselves. So in the entire day, 2 hours of study for my remaining pending 12th board exam, 2 hours of my preparation for my CLAT exam or any other entrance exam which I wanted to give. Somewhere the children will have to learn to work on themselves, self-regulate themselves, self-monitor themselves. These are very important skills which are required in the adult life also.
So you did say, of course, that according to the official information from the CBSE board, students will be given 10 days notice after the lockdown to take the remaining exams that haven't been administered so far. Is it likely that the CBSE board might also consider, because from this it seems like the exams will be held, is it likely that those exams might be cancelled, or is this likely to be the final decision?
Not say. See, it depends upon the situation. Every day the situation is changing. So I'm not in that position to give you any answer because I'm not directly involved in the decision making. But if there is any senior person also, I'm sure the decision will vary as per the day changes.
All right. Dr. Kumar, thank you so much for spending time and being so very generous with your time and giving us your advice. Dr. Geetanjali Kumar telling us right now that according to the official statements of the CBSE board, at least, the students will be given 10 days notice before they have to answer the exam after the lockdown. But of course, this is a developing situation, and hence the HRD ministry and all of the boards involved, the CBSE, the ICSE boards, are going to have to examine the developing situation and the changing conditions before they make a final decision. There are, of course, students to be taken into consideration, not just in the metros, but across the country and, across semi-urban and rural India as well, to make sure that everyone's concerns and everyone's well-being is taken into consideration before these decisions are made. Dr. Geetanjali Kumar, thank you for joining us on Truth Be Told. Remember, if you have any more questions, leave it for us at the bottom of this video, and you can go to Boom Live for any fact-checking needs you may have. Thanks for watching.
Yes.